How is it going, folks? Welcome back to Union Berlin, and welcome to what is the penultimate episode of season number 2. Today we are taking on Hertha Berlin in the DFB Pokal semi-final. We are taking on our local rivals, and for the first time, we're actually going to do an away day at our own stadium. I've still not seen our stadium on Google Street View. I was waiting for a special occasion, a Berlin derby in a cup semi-final. That feels like a special moment. As well as that game, we are going to be taking on Wolfsburg in the league with 4 games left of the season. If we could get a win over the team in third, it would really help us in securing Champions League football. If we fail to beat them, last game of the season against Freiburg could be a nervy game. It is crunch time here to end the season. Let's see if we're up to the task. So since last episode, only 1 game played. Of course, we are at that point in the season where there's lots of big cup games going on, lots of big matches here, there and everywhere. This one, no exception, but a massive win against Bayer Leverkusen. Deserved win as well. Both Nemetscher brothers getting on the score sheet. Felix, a goal and an assist. This man has been the player of the season. I don't think there's any getting away from that. 14 goals, 7 assists. Centre mid on attack is a role that I've not used much this year. A few FMs ago, it was absolutely amazing. It seems within this system, especially with a playmaker to the right, that this player in this role just gets a load of space. And Felix, I mean, he's been scoring goals for fun, and it's not really a surprise that he's now valued at £19 million. Just as a reminder, we got him for £5 million. So with that win, we are still in 4th place, 1 point ahead of Freiburg. You might have noticed here as well, Lucas Mescher has popped up in the top goal scorers. He is now joint 2nd behind Sesko, who's 4 goals ahead. With 4 games remaining, it's probably going to be a tall order to catch the Slovenian. Elsewhere, when it comes to assists, Nemetscher is up there. Look who else is up there. Zakharyan leading the way. 10 assists for this man. Whilst he hasn't perhaps developed as much as a footballer as I'd like in terms of his actual attributes, his performances on the pitch have by and large been good. I think as far as wildcard transfers go, he's definitely not been a bust. Now, today's first game is in the DFB Pokal. This is the competition we won last year. I'd love to win it back-to-back years, but Hertha Berlin are going to be tough opposition. Of course, newly promoted to the Bundesliga in this season. And, in their first season in the division, they were going really strong. They do now sit down in 6th place, but we cannot afford to underestimate them. You can just see from this scout report here, they have got some serious talent. Before all of that, though, we are heading to the Stadion an der Alten Forsterei. I hope I said that okay. It's our first time going to our own stadium for an away day. I want to see where we've been playing for the last year. Let's go find out together. Now, this is the first time that as part of an away day, we're going to our own stadium of the team that we manage. Of course, Guernsey we managed in Parc des Princes. Guernsey, the island, isn't actually on Google Street View. So we couldn't go look at our stadium, but here we are in Berlin, which I realise is a massive city, and I have no idea where our actual stadium is. I'll tell you what, very glad I've cheated. It would have taken a long time to find this stadium. We are in the southeast area of Berlin. Here is our stadium. Lovely forest next door. Few training pitches to the side. Thoughts on the car parking? It's a little bit blurry. It looks like a solid car park. I'm a little bit concerned. It's not like there's loads of roads around and near the stadium. When I click on the little orange man, what are we going to have to look at? Okay, there are dots around the pitch. That's good. Before all of that, let's have a quick look at this here. This is a road next to the tram line, and through there is our home, which, I mean, from here, if you ignore all the obstacles in the way, it kind of looks impressive. Of course, in my humbly unbiased opinion. I'm not just saying this because it's our own stadium. This is very pretty. Love the brickwork. Love the design from the outside. You've got a bit of the blend of the new with the old. I want to look more around it. Sadly, however, there's no photospheres around it. This photosphere here is on a path to the side, but actually, spoilers, it's in the stadium. Let's go and look at the front door if we can. Oh my word. Here we are. We've arrived. I mean, this looks very fancy. It doesn't really scream football stadium, does it? As you walk into this, fancy VIP bit. I'm just having a wander through the stadium here. You've got, I guess, where they have some of the match interviews done. I love the fact that it's just red and white everywhere. They've really committed to the aesthetic of the football club, haven't they? And here is our majestic stadium. at night, not on a match day. I'm not sure why there's been a picture taken not on a match day at night, but you know what? Corporate events, we rent it out in the week. We need all the money we can get. Obviously, not seats all the way around the stadium, a lot of standing. It has a proper old school football stadium vibe. I mean, it's not the grandest of stadiums, granted, but I love how open an area it is, surrounded by trees on all sides. It's just a nice, very classic football stadium. Is that? I don't think I'm being biased here. This is one of the nicest stadiums we've been to. Like, it's not the biggest, but it's just kind of clean and nice and colourful, and it just feels homely. I will say, clicked on this one here. Hope they're going to be fixing the pitch at some point. This doesn't look fit for purpose, does it? Yeah. New groundsman. We'll fire the current ones. I mean, this is not fit for play. If I was going to be mega critical, it's not like there's a load of match day pictures for us to enjoy, but it just has a very homely feel. I can't believe that this is a stadium that obviously houses a Champions League club in Germany. Now, actually, in real life, they can't play at this stadium because it doesn't fulfill some of UEFA's requirements, but it just feels like a proper football ground. I love it. And in fact, I love it so much. Let's have a look at it in Google Earth. Surrounded by trees, nestled in a little leafy suburb of Berlin. I mean, great car park. Beautiful main stand, it has to be said. Not a load of room for expansion. We didn't get to enjoy the grass verges around the stadium itself, but it's just a really, really cool location for a football stadium, and I like the design. It's not completely symmetrical. It's got a car park. If we were going to be, you know, a bit harsh, no match day pictures, really. Not a load of activities to do around the stadium. I don't think you're going bungee jumping here. That said, great away day. The Stadion an der Alten Forsterei, I'm going to give you 7.5 out of 10. A few more pictures, it would have been great. But as far as football stadiums go, it's a stadium that you just look at and you get a warm and fuzzy feeling inside. And I literally don't think that's because I'm being biased either. I think it's just a cool stadium. I will think the stadium is even cooler if we can get a good result against Hertha Berlin in this cup semi-final. We are the home side for this game. We should be backing ourselves for this game. But you can see here, Kraus is coming back from injury. Arian B suspended. Danny Da Costa's injured. And Gangkam's injured. Alex Scott doesn't need a fitness test, but I'm looking at that condition thinking it's not worth the risk. And there's a dilemma to be had here. Do you play Julian Draxler, who's already announced he's leaving at the end of the year, or do you play the understudy to Alex Scott, the man who dons the number 1 shirt, Adriano? And you know what? I think I'm going to play Adriano here. He's not the craziest player in the world in terms of overall ability, but at 18 years old, he has the makings of a really good advanced playmaker. He started 3 games in this cup competition already. I'm going to give him the nod. If he doesn't hit the ground running, half-time, we can then sub on Alex Scott. Elsewhere in the team, though, we are pretty much at full strength for this game. Only exception, I suppose, is the fact that with Arian B suspended, Flick is coming into the team. Flick was a player who, at the start of the year, I thought was going to start at centre-back. In fact, he had a run of games at the start of the season where he was our starting centre-back and we got off to an awful start. We dropped him. We've played better since, but when you look at him, he's a very capable replacement for Arian B. When we took on Hertha Berlin earlier on this season, away from home, we managed to beat them. I'm going to hope that we can make it 2 for 2 this season with this match here. They've won their last 3 games in a row. They've got a bit of momentum coming into this game. They've got a very, very good team. Yes, they're not quite the dizzying heights of third they were earlier on in the Bundesliga season, but they're still in 6th place. They still have a chance of getting the Champions League spot we currently occupy. And whilst this game here obviously isn't going to impact that one little bit, there's a psychological edge that could be gained by the team that wins this game here. And well, we are out of possession on the back foot early on, and Marlon has hit it. Heidel has tipped that onto the crossbar. A big stop by our keeper early on, and with that save, he's immediately gone up to a 7.0. Not exactly what I want to see. As the home team, I was hoping we'd really press home an early advantage. As things have started here, we are second best. They are quicker. And while Hertha Berlin are on the attack again, Marlon's threaded through. And on this occasion, he has tucked it away. I mean, as far as starts to this match go, this is not good. They had one chance and Heidel came to the rescue. But when this second chance came here, there was just a feeling that I felt in the pit of my stomach that they were just going to score. It's a great finish by Marlon into the bottom corner. We are going to have to fight back from behind if we want to get out of this round of the cup and into the final. We're defending champions. I want to see us win it. And while Forsby wants to see us do it as well. Adriano there, a youngster we've thrown in at the deep end wearing the number 1 shirt. Not a great pass by him to lose possession for us. And while Toussaint bringing the ball forward, in real life he has signed from Hertha Berlin for Union Berlin. I didn't sign him here. Maybe I'm going to regret not doing it because this could be a second goal for Hertha. It is going to a VAR review. I think he's onside. That's what my heart tells me. It's what my gut tells me. Would I be a good official? No. You know what? I won't quit my day job. So far in this game, we have been second best absolutely everywhere. We're not really doing a lot with the possession that we have. So with that in mind, I'm going to get rid of work ball into the box. I'm going to ask the players to up the tempo a little bit. In transition, no more rolling it out. Let's try and get it into the wide areas if we can. I also want us to just play a little bit wider here. At the moment, we're not doing a lot with the ball that we have, and I feel like we're just losing it in disadvantageous areas. So let's try and get the ball forward with a bit of purpose. Bad news, we've not scored before half-time. Good news, having made that change, Hertha Berlin have not done anything either. But as the team behind, that's not really a good thing, is it? Right, I'm going to tell the players, what was that? Get your act together. Adriano, do I keep him on the pitch for a little bit longer? I feel like I shouldn't, but there's a voice in the back of my head that says that I should. Do you ever get that when you play Football Manager? This weird Football Manager instinct. I can't describe it. It's a feeling that you have after you've played the game enough, where there's certain youngsters that you just feel like you have to put some faith in. Adriano, bringing it forward. I thought he was about to make me look like a genius. He's put it wide. Has just dawned on me, we've not yet had a shot on target in this game. We are going to need to rectify that if we want to get something from this game, unless they score an own goal, I suppose. Nemetcha with the ball, playing it forward towards Felix Nemetcha. The Nemetcha brothers are linked up. Felix is through. Felix! I would have put my money on to score that, sadly saved by the keeper. Well, good news, at least now we have had a shot on target. Bad news, they've got a set piece. Amiri, forward, headed over. Yeah, I'm going to make some changes here with half an hour left. Right, Alex Scott, on you come. Elsewhere, Tillman, I'm going to bring on, I think, for Zach Hyen in this game. Zach Hyen's not been good enough. Tillman is going to come in to play inside forward out on that left-hand side for us. Elsewhere, do I want to make more changes yet? Felix Nemetcha has actually played absolutely awfully today. I'm going to make a bit of an unorthodox change. Julian Draxler, you're coming on to play centre mid on attack. It's a role that, when you ignore his physicals, he should be good at. So I'm going to hope he can be good for us here. I am getting a little bit of Fiorentina performance energy here. Can you remember the Fiorentina game last episode? I'd be worried if you couldn't remember it. But just to recap, we lost that game as the home side in a game where I feel like we did have chances to maybe get more from the game. This game here, we were outclassed early on. I do feel like the changes we've made have worked out in our favour. And well, we might have a chance here. Lucas Nemetcha finishes it. There's going to be a VAR check. This is very close. I feel like he's offside, but I was wrong earlier. I want to be wrong this time. It was Alex Scott with the ball through. Is this going to count? It is going to count. Thank God I'm not an official. Or maybe I'd be a good official because VAR could bail me out. Bullet, the right back, slotting in today for Da Costa, won that header. Massive by him. Alex Scott on off the bench, sets up Lucas. He scores 1-1, 15 minutes left. Has just dawned on me, I don't know the rules for this semi-final. I think it goes to extra time. Are you a real Football Manager player if you've not had a point where you go into a cup game and realise you don't know the rules halfway through? What is the rules here? Extra time played at the scores are level, penalty shootout. Okay, nothing crazy going on. 8 minutes left. I am getting a little bit nervous here, but Draxler's won the ball back in a good area. Bullet to Scott. He's going to play through Nemetcha, who takes it round the keeper. He was offside. It wouldn't have hit the back of the net anyway, but we are looking lively going forward. Lucas has got that goal, and now he's just here, there, and everywhere, it feels like. Bit of a shame we couldn't have Alex Scott from the start of this game because he's been pulling the strings superbly since he's come on in this game. And well, speaking of the devil, here he is again, threading through Nemetcha. He's putting a great run yet again. He scores it yet again. This could be an insane comeback, but VAR's going to check it. I've got the last two wrong. I'm not going to say anything here. I'm just going to sit. I'm going to hope. The goal is going to be awarded. It is 2-1. And oh my word. Martel won the tackle. Draxler laid it to Alex Scott. He played through Nemetcha, put in a great run. And that was a near impossible angle. But yet for him, it was entirely possible. There is 4 minutes left. This is a game where we started the match awfully. We changed some things up. It worked wonders. And we are going to come away with a mighty fine win. Look at those chances Hertha Berlin had early on. And then from there, we changed things up. We got 2 goals. We have one man to thank yet again. This man, he's changed the fortunes of this football club, and I am eternally grateful. Gonna tell the players I'm delighted. This is an easy rivalry. It's not, but we've just beaten our rivals, having been a goal down. Nemetcha with both goals, and in the final, we're going to be taking on FC Cologne, a team who currently sit in 13th place and whose manager wears a hat. I don't know why that's significant, but it feels intimidating. Lucas did pick up a little bit of a knock, but hopefully he'll be back for that Wolfsburg game, which is in only 3 days' time. For winning that semi-final, for playing in it, £2.5 million. We'll get more money for the final. Let's give Lucas some praise. And now, let's rest up all the players. Roussillon's going to be suspended. That could be a little bit problematic, although Arian B's back, so Arian B will play left back. But yes, we've got Wolfsburg 3 days away. We're going to get straight into that one. We've played Wolfsburg, I think, 3 times in episodes now. I promise after this episode here, never playing them again in a video. That's a promise. If we beat them, I'll be happy. If they beat us, then maybe I'll go back on my word, because I like to beat them occasionally. I mean, I'll say that. We've played them 3 times. We've beaten them every time. We've never conceded a goal. So we're probably going to lose this one here when it matters. So with one incredible result under our belts, we go into this second game against Wolfsburg knowing a win would put us in a golden position. Elsewhere, Hertha Berlin take on Mainz. Freiburg are at home against Augsburg. Realistically speaking, not expecting either of those 2 teams trailing us to drop points here, which makes this game all the more important. Whilst, yes, we do have a game in hand on everyone around us, this game here is not a freebie. Freiburg to end the season is definitely not a freebie. We'll also have the cup final that we're going to be half thinking about. And of course, if we were to win this game here, we would only be 1 point behind Wolfsburg in 3rd. Now, unfortunately for us, Roussillon is suspended for today's game and Gankam and Da Costa are still injured. I mentioned last match about Bullets slotting in at right back. I feel like this guy might be dispossessing Da Costa of the right back spot next season. Here is the head-to-head comparison of the 2 players. I feel like there's not a world of difference between them, and actually when you look at performances, both of them have been playing very, very well, above 7.0 ratings, but with Bullet being only 19 years old, he has stepped up this season when called upon, has started 11 games for us this season. I trust him in this game here. Elsewhere, with the left-back injury to Roussillon, Arian B is going to play at left-back today. Of course, he is a player with some crazy physicals for a centre-back, pretty good physicals for a fullback as well, and on his left foot, he can slot in there. Flick and Martel played pretty well last game by all accounts. Elsewhere, though, the team is all unchanged, except from one thing that I do need to update. Alex Scott is going to come in for Adriano. I'm sorry, mate, you got to play that last game. You got a bit of development under your belt. Back on the bench you go. Suppose at this point it is worth acknowledging next episode plan of attack will be to do the DFB Pokal final, and if that last game of the season against Freiburg does mean anything, obviously we'll come back for that game as well. What it does mean is that I can start to slowly but surely maybe think about some of our transfers. Players I might want to sign into the summer. I say all of that. It's a weird situation, isn't it, when you don't know if you're getting Champions League football or not. Because if you're getting Champions League football, I feel like the calibre of players you want to sign jumps up a level, whereas if you're in the Europa League, it doesn't quite feel as sexy. You don't feel quite as attractive to players. So if we could get Champions League football, that would probably just nudge up my expectations for the transfers and players we might be able to sign slightly. I'd say all of that. Should have my head in this game here. Nothing has happened. We're half an hour in. We go with the ball. We've tried to play the ball out from the back here. Jonas Wind has hit the crossbar there. The keeper didn't even move. Hadel knew it was going over. He knew it wasn't on target. Everything's fine. I'm calm. It is Jonas Wind right up front for them. Yeah, it is. This guy is remarkably good in Football Manager. He's one of those players that I know from Football Manager and I've never seen in real life, except at kind of international tournaments. He's a bit like the outfield Akinfeev or Akinfeev. You know, the Russian goalkeeper who just played in CSKA. Was it CSKA Moscow he played for his whole career? Absolutely insane in Football Manager. Reappeared every few years for a major international tournament. Would forget he existed in real life the rest of the time. That is Jonas Wind in a nutshell. Anyway, we've got the ball here. Jonas Wind aside. We need to get a goal of our own. A draw here doesn't really do us a lot of favours. Well, Alex Scott had a great impact on off the bench, yet to make his mark in this game here. And well, we might be called into some defensive action here because they are knocking the ball around nicely. Of course, Lucas Nemecha signed from Wolfsburg in January. At that moment in time, they were, well, pretty comfortably in the top 4. Without their top goal scorer, they've struggled a little bit, but it'd be very on brand if they were now to get a goal. That I've mentioned the fact that maybe we've stolen their best attacking player. Wimmer's cutting inside. Wimmer's scoring. It's going to a VAR check. We've had a lot of these today. I think he's onside. But then again, I've been wrong every time. So maybe he's going to be offside. He is onside. It's 1-0 Wolfsburg. Patrick Wimmer with the goal. Eggstein, great ball forward. Wimmer in behind. Talked about how I thought Bullet was first team ready. Maybe he's not. Coming up to half-time here, I was thinking about making some changes at half-time because we've not really been good enough in this game. I'm hoping I'm not leaving it too little too late because there is one highlight here to end the half. We're yet to have a shot on target, but that could change here. Scott, wide to Bullet on the overlap. Options inside. One of them is Zach Kyan. That cross there goes straight down Castile's throat. Have noticed Alex Scott carrying a bit of a knock. Oh my word, ball is gifted to us. Scott's got the ball, lays it to Udrago. It's with Lucas Nemetja. He scores against his former club. It's a bizarre circumstance of events there that's led to that chance. I don't quite know what to describe what I've just seen. Castiles rolls it out. The ball's played here. Lucas Nemetja goes down in a heap. I'm waiting for the penalty to happen. We tried to play it forward. The ball ping-pongs around in the box and then Lucas just unleashes a pile driver. We do not deserve that goal. I'm very grateful for it. In this game, we have just not had enough of the ball and not created enough when we have had it. I'm going to make some similar changes to what we did last time. Scott is struggling big time with his injury. Whilst this game is important for us, it's not the do-or-die game that perhaps it would be if we didn't have a game in hand. So even if we were to lose things here, our fate still is in our own hands. With that in mind, going to change things up a little bit, distribute to flanks. Let's make the same changes we made last time. That worked well, didn't it? I think I'm going to take off Forsby as well and bring in Kraus. Kraus slowly but surely coming back from injury. You can see here, passed a fitness test to play 75 minutes. He is going to get a run out in this second half. There's only 20 minutes left here. There's been a few bookings for our team that leave me a little nervous, but I've not exactly got a load of sub options to bring in. I am going to make some changes, I think. Aiden and Templeman are going to come in the fullback areas. This has been an absolutely awful second half. Nothing has happened until maybe now. There's 10 seconds left. Is there about to be a late twist here? The ball's played forward. Kaminsky in behind Aiden. Fantastic foul, mate. Take the red card. Oh, he's got a yellow card. It's even better. That is a sensational professional foul. I'm going to get a shout to demand more here. And in a second half where nothing has happened, I've made some subs and brought on the fullbacks who weren't booked. We've held on for a point. And I say held on for a point. There were some late chances there. Didn't get a show in any of them. But away from home, 1-1. It's not great. Could have been a lot worse. Also, if you sat thinking that second half was really abrupt in terms of how it concluded and ended and was edited, yet literally nothing happened in that half. I didn't look at the results elsewhere. What happened elsewhere? Freiburg won 4-1. Hertha Berlin lost. With that result there, Freiburg go ahead of us. We have that game in hand. We play them on the final day. So whilst it's not ideal for us, the current situation, if we win our last 3 games, we would go above them. Alex Scott is out for 1 to 3 days, and well, our next match is 4 days away. I'm going to hope he's fit for that one, but it has been a long, arduous season, and I think you are starting to see with all the little injuries, the little niggles and knocks that we're getting to our players, it is catching up with the team a little bit. Anyway, looking slightly further ahead, our next game that we're coming back for is going to be that Freiburg game in 3 weeks' time. That is a monumental game for us. Cologne is the week after in the DFB Pokal final. Tomorrow, we end Season 2, hopefully as a Champions League club. That's the dream. Let me know what you thought of our away day down in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the performances today. We've avoided defeat, 2 reasonably good results, I think, all in all, especially away from home against Wolfsburg. Yes, I'm disappointed not to beat them. They are 3rd place for a reason. This has been episode number 17 of Building Berlin. If you have enjoyed it, leave a like on it. We will be back here tomorrow with more action. And until then, take things easy. It's me, Jack. I'll see you all again on the next one. I'm out.